In this unit, we're looking at the topic of permutations, which looks at the ways we can arrange objects or just arrange things in general, I guess. Could be numbers, could be letters, in terms of, say, maybe passwords, things like that. How many arrangements can be made of those items? So we're going to start with organized counting. And when we're doing organized counting, we're looking at organizing our outcomes into things like lists, charts, tree diagrams. So in our example, we have Abby makes 2 stops on her way to school. First to pick up a friend, and the second to buy coffee. There are 3 routes from her house to her friends, 2 routes from her friends to the coffee shop, and 1 route from the coffee shop to the school. And we want to use a tree diagram to illustrate all the possible routes she can take. So let's kind of map this out. We'll use what's called a mapping diagram. So we have Abby's house here. And maybe I should move that AH over. Maybe up here. Abby's house. And then we have, and we'll just do them linearly here. It makes sense. So she can go from her house, and then she can pick up her friend here. And then there's the coffee shop here. And then finally, we go to the school. So from Abby's house, there are 3 routes from her house to her friend. So she can go here, here, or here. So that would show 3 different routes out to her friend's house. And then from her friends to the coffee shop, there was 2 routes. So 1, 2. And then to school, there was only 1 possible route, so we can just go straight to school. So that would map out all the different routes that she could take. We're not actually looking at a map as in the map on the ground. We're just in the actual roads and streets she would travel, just a generalization. So there's 3 paths, 2 paths, and 1 path between these different places. So now if we were to illustrate this as a tree diagram, so we would start here at her house, and then she can go on 1 of 3 paths to get to her friend's house. And then from her friend's house, she could take 1 of 2 paths to the coffee shop. And that's in each case. Anytime she gets to her friend's house, she can take 1 of 2 paths to the coffee shop. And then from the coffee shop to school, she only has 1 path in each case. And so here we've taken that map and then we've illustrated it as a tree diagram. So we see there's our 3 paths, and then from her friends each time there should be 2 paths, and then to school there should be 1 path. And so there's a total number of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different paths that she could take to get to school based on that tree diagram. And then moving on, we have a family that has 3 girls, Sue, Susie, and Susan. And there are 3 chores that they need to complete each day. They need to sweep, dust, and mop. If each girl does 1 chore, we want to make a tree diagram to illustrate the different options for doing the assigned chores. So we can kind of take our tree diagram as what the first girl, the second girl, and then what the third girl options would be. So the first girl has an option has 3 options. So the first person to choose would have 1 of 3 options. So that could be Sue, If Sue's first, then we'll do Sue, then Susie, and then Susan. So Sue could sweep, she could dust, or she could mop. And then when we go to Susie, who would be the level 2, Susie, if it was sweep, then it would be dust or mop. If Sue picked dusting, then it would be mop or sweep. And then if she picked mopping, then Susie would have a choice of sweeping or dusting. So there's the second level where Susie is, and now Susan's choices become simple. She only gets one choice. She's either going to mop. In this case, the only thing left is dusting. In this case, the only thing left is sweeping. In this case, the only thing left is to mop. In this case, the thing left is dust. And in this case, the thing left is sweep. So there is a tree. So this is separate from the tree. This is just to show us our levels, who is in each level. So Sue has 3 choices. And then when it comes down to Susie, Susie gets 2 of the remaining choices. And then Susan gets 1 choice in total. So there's a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different possible ways of assigning those chores.